How we doing?
Coach Davis, Charles Grievous here with GBK. How you doing?
Great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Uh, it's interesting. Defensively, Georgia State has struggled a little bit through their first four games. I think they gave roughly about 38 points per game and ranked about 120th nationally in scoring defense. But so when it comes to this team, your weakened opponent, what challenges do you see coming from their defense?
Well, I don't see it that way at all. And they've had some really tight games with Power Five teams, and they've played against some pretty dang good offenses. Let's be honest. I mean, some of the best in the country, and also that's misleading because some of the people they've played run the most plays in the country and have the fastest tempo. So, I would say that that's not just extremely misleading to say that's where they are as a defense. I think they're very active. I think it's as good of a front as we've played this year. I think the secondary is full of playmakers and guys that love to mix it up, that trigger fast and aren't afraid to play blocks. I have a lot of respect for Coach Fuquay, the defense coordinator. Known him for a long time, played against him for a long time. Thank God he's not playing on their defense because he was a hell of a player, and he was. But he's always got them sound and playing really hard. That's why they've had the success that they've had there, and so it's a big challenge for us.
Great, and despite losing Jacoby in the first quarter, Tyson Riley stepped up, led the team in rushing. I think 70-yard run, which is impressive to say the least. And then Hayden Reed got his chance and played. I think about 12 of the 57 offensive snaps and even had 3 carries and a touchdown.
Right.
How do you feel that game itself impacted his confidence going into, this upcoming game and even the rest of the season, if you will?
You talk about Hayden?
Yes,
as far
sir.
as that goes? Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, it's great to see Tyson get back in there and be somewhat healthy. That's something we've known. He's had some big play capability, but it was good to see him back in there and make that play. He made a few plays actually, but and then as far as Hayden goes, the first time you pop one of those big runs, I think it's kind of addictive, into where you don't want to miss it the next time it happens. And he missed one earlier in the game that he could have probably scored on. It was the same play and just didn't quite trust the track and came back. And sometimes in football you get a second chance to get it right, and he did. And it was a well-blocked play and a great run and great track. And the thing about him, I think, is you can practice all you want. You can look good in practice, but until you do it in a real live game against, good opponent, then you just don't have the confidence, the real confidence. You think you do, but not until you actually do it. On Saturday are you really ready to go. I think that was a great boost for him. And you could see the next week in practice, these last 2 weeks, just, not that his work ethic improved, but just the sense of urgency about the things he could have done better in that game, and I think he's really improved over the last 8-10 days as well.
Fantastic. And my follow-up and final question, you guys have several players on the roster from the state of Florida. Needless to say, they're concerned about their families back home relative to the hurricane projections, et cetera. Is there any protocol in place relative to not tracking the hurricane per se, but communication relative to their respective families? But also, I know that you guys will have some recruits up this weekend for Saturday from the state of Florida, perhaps. How do you handle that?
Yeah, I think, any situation like that, I mean, we're not in control of what's going to happen. It's kind of a wait and see situation. But I will tell you this, and anything having to do with this program and Coach Monk and family is going to come first. So any kind of, aid or anything, anybody that we're allowed to give or time that people need. I mean, absolutely, that's not going to be an issue, but you just don't know in a situation like that how severe it's going to be and where the actual path is going to end up. So it's something I think everybody's aware of, and it's affecting games already down there, just because I think people have learned their lesson from times where maybe they didn't take the warnings as seriously and didn't get places evacuated in the aftermath and what that looks like. And so I think it's really smart the way things like that are handled now, and that it's better to be on the safe side and look like a fool because the storm didn't come than it is to have loss of life because we didn't take care of business.
Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it.